Good evening and welcome. Welcome to my live stream. This is to fight CPS and stop taking our children. I'm your host, Bob Pace, and I give you a warm welcome because you're attempting to work with the government agency. The Child Protection System has different names in every county. Like I just found out today that North Carolina has 100 counties. That means they have 100 CPS systems, each of them with a different name. So I'm not going to go here and tell you the thousands of names. Right now, it's this easy to say CPS. I mean the Child Protection System. And it's a warm welcome because I know what you guys are doing with, because I too have been a victim of CPS. I've been very wrongly battled them for 15 years. It's been terrible. It's been terrible. They still continue to haunt me. They still are causing troubles with my family. They're very mean and cynical. They're corrupt. Everything you can say to them is they're that bad. They're that bad. So anyway, I have this live stream I've been doing now for 20 months, almost 2 years. I mean, started October of 2023. So all of 24 and 6 months of 25. So that's 6, 17, 18 months. And then October, November, December, that's 3 more. So 18, 19, 20, 21 months. 21 months I've been doing this. And in 2 more years, in 2 more months is going to be 2 years, which is a long time because I've been doing this on a regular basis. I do this twice a day, once in the morning and once at night. Now, nighttime, which is the 7 o'clock show, I'm on every night of the week at 7 p.m. And then on the daytime, I'm on the weekends at 8 a.m. and on the weekdays at 10 a.m. That is all given in Pacific Standard Time. That's the West Coast of California. I'm broadcasting this from Surf City, USA, 3 blocks from the ocean. And I, as I told you, been a victim. And I started encountering problems with them in 2010. And I found them to be a very bad agency, a very rogue agency. They don't believe in seniors or parents. They don't believe in family reunification. They lie, they steal, they cheat. I can go on and on and on. They do revenge. That's something I never thought they'd do in a million years. They try to be doctors and give people drugs and keep people strung up. There are people that call in here that have been strung up by drugs because of them, and they're 40 years old. And they still, CPS tries to control them. CPS has a long data. And so you got to be careful. You got to be careful what they keep records of you on, because they'll come back to haunt you. If you're in there as a child in foster care, they'll come back and take your children when you grow up. They are relentless. They do not stop. Their whole basis of what they do is for money. Now, today or this morning, I found an interesting thing. I had Dorothy Cook from North Carolina, and there was a new law that was passed on Friday that's going to help out their state and everything. And so Dorothy was so nice enough to say a lot of things that I started to help her with her state in North Carolina. There's a lot of you return all the time. I think that's great. I really love seeing you people here. Now, this is an interactive live stream, meaning that you can do things on here. You can do emojis. You can send hearts and smiley faces and love and thumbs up and even stars. Please check below to follow me. I love you to follow me and write reviews. That's important. And then if you want to be notified when I'm on, check the notification button. And that way you'll never miss a live stream. Because my live streams, generally speaking, are those times I gave you, but it may vary them from time to time depending on family commitments. I am a family man. I'm a father, a loving husband. I've helped raise 6 children. I have 3 older children and 3 younger children. My older children have families of their own. And so I am very blessed to have my family. I count my family as most the highest thing I have. But it's been a struggle. CPS interfered with my life so bad. It was something that I just really regret what they did. And I know for a fact that they are revengeful. They are so bad. But I'm glad you're here because I do want to help you. I've come up with 5 rules that I can talk about that will help you. I have lots of things we can discuss about, things you may not know, forms to file, or so forth. One of my callers is going to call me in about 5 minutes. They called me this morning. They want to talk about their case. He said it's a really bad CPS case. So they'll be on shortly there. Now, there's a couple of things you can do when you, besides sending emojis and those other things, you could also text me messages. I love to have you text me a message, either a question or a comment, and it should pertain to about CPS. Please state your first name, your city or county, your state, and of course your country. I have 22 countries that have participated in my live stream, over 2,000 people. Also, please tell me about your CPS case from the beginning to where you're at the moment. Now, I have a very honored guest here. It's Michelle is her name. She called me this morning and she wants very much to talk about her case. And she says that it is a lot to talk about, which is good. I want to afford her the opportunity. Now, Michelle, I was given some instructions to the room. That's when you heard me when you called in. But it's a warm welcome to you, Michelle. And what location do you want me to use? Your city or your county? Okay, what's the county called? Tass or Bass? Okay, Cass County in Michigan is where she has her. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm saying think of that. Indiana, Cass County in Indiana. Now I have dealt with Indiana and Nebraska and Montana, so this is the first time I've heard from Indiana. But it's a warm welcome to you. How did you find out about our live stream? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Before you start, I'm glad to go a couple other things here. To be a guest on my live stream, please email our show producer. Her email is grace@vincentwdavis.com. Just pick the time, the day and the time. You just tell them you want to be in Bob's morning show on Sunday or his evening show on Saturday, his morning show on Friday, any day of the week, any time. You just pick it and then you email her. It's grace@vincentwdavis.com. She's my show producer. She'll send you a link, and the link will take you to StreamYard. That's the software application I use. I'm on there, and I use YouTube to transmit. StreamYard is the one that affords me to talk to people here and to make comments and so forth there. Now, when she does get your email, she'll send you a link, and all you do is you just copy and paste the link, and you're suddenly on. You're on with no problem. If you get bounced off, you just copy and paste the link again. And that's good for that live stream. So that is how to be a guest. And that's not directed to you, Michelle. It's directed to everybody in the room. I may have 40 or 50 people, and I have people that don't even text me. As I say, I have over 2,000 people I talk to, and I have people from around the world. Right now, people from Indonesia, Bangladesh, India, the Middle East. I've had from Saudi Arabia and Libya. Then over to Africa, I've had Liberia and Sudan and Republic of Congo and Rwanda. They're in the news today again. And then I had Mozambique and then South Africa. Then up to Europe, I've had United Kingdom, England, Scotland, and Wales, and I've had Denmark and Sweden. Then across the pond in North America, I've had Canada and the United States, all 50 states, including Washington, D.C. And then south the border, Mexico, and then South America, I've had a country called Grenada on the east coast, north of Brazil. And then across the South Pacific, I've had New Zealand and Australia, several states there. So, as I say, I've had a lot of people from around the world that have a CPS problem. I'm here to help you all. I try so hard. I'm a loving father, and I'm dedicated to try to resolve your issues. I'm not an attorney, but I work for one, and I also tell you about him, and he's available to help too. So anyway, we got Michelle here, and I'm going to find the last way that you can interact. I'm going to put my phone number up there in case somebody wants to call in, but they'll have to come after you. So I have posted my number there. Oh, it's not Michelle? Okay, there was a girl I talked to called Michelle from Detroit, and she said her last name is Michelle. So did you not call me this morning? Oh, you didn't talk to me in the morning, right? Okay, there was somebody this morning that wanted to call back. That's what's got me confused. It's Nicole. Okay. It's Nicole from Indiana. So how did you hear about me? How did you hear about me? Have you listened to Vincent Davis? You should get familiar with him. He's one of the top CPS attorneys in the country. Well, you're going to get a free one. You're going to get a free one because by you calling in, you're entitled to a 15-minute private Zoom consultation with Mr. Davis. And you can ask him from A through Z any question you have. The only thing I'm telling you is you need to rank your questions in orders that you want to be answering in case he can't answer them all. He's not a clock watcher, but he'll give you 15 minutes free. And if you want that, I'll tell you a little bit how to get that connection, okay? That is something that will really be beneficial to you. Now, why don't you start from the beginning about your story? Can we start from the beginning, Nicole? Can we start from the knock on the door, or did you do a phone call, or did you visit the office? A little bit. You're going really fast, and I'm trying to understand it. You said that he just got out of prison, and in 4 days, what did he tell the kids? Whoa, 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 whoa! Why is he have these violent tendencies? Is that something he learned from prison? Is that something he learned from prison? Let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. Um, why did the police contact CPS? I call it CPS. You can call it anything you want, but it's all the same. Yeah. See, at that time, what she should have said is that I can't let you in my home. If this is a legal matter, I need to have my attorney. You need to give me some time to get an attorney together. And you could have stayed them off at the process. By you allowing them in the home, they're going to pick up everything and they're probably going to charge you with negligence because you let that father of them attack the children. You didn't protect the children. Right. I know they will because you see what's happening is you made the mistake. And I try to tell everybody I made the mistake too. No one should let police or social workers in the home. Also, people are confused why the police are involved. The police are only involved if social worker asks them for protection or to serve a warrant. They're not there to enforce CPS rules. They're not there to intimidate you, but they do. So by you allowing them to talk to you or you by allowing them in your home, you open up a can of worms and of course it's gonna be a nightmare. They don't care. They're just interested in make money off your kids. That's all they're interested in. Well, the way this works, see, that's the thing is, I don't know what you're digging up, but the way it works, there's two kinds of reporters in CPS case. They're the ones that are called the mandated reporters, the ones that are required to by law. And those are entities or individuals that work with children, such as school teachers, nurses, counselors, administrators, or it's also, um, it could be other um, policemen, firemen. Well, yeah, okay, right. I'm going to tell you, right. Yeah, you gotta let me finish here because I was telling you there's two types of reporters. One is the mandated reporter, okay, and they only get it right 50% of the time. Last year in 2024, out of the 4,200,000 cases that were reported about child abuse, 2 million had to be thrown out. They couldn't be, they were bogus reports, and that came from professional people that are supposed to and mandated by law. So they only have a record of 50-50. It's right. Now the other kind of reporter are the ones that are called laymen. They're your they're your husband, wife, children, caregivers. Not caregiver. I stand corrected. It could be neighbors, acquaintances, the guy at the store, those kinds of people. Those are called laymen, and they can report, but they get right maybe they get it wrong or they get it wrong 75% of the time. So they're really, really, really bad. And so what's happened is that I always tell people don't call CPS, don't call police, but call 911. The reason why I say 911, it's a public record. They will not alter. They will keep the report. It's safe, and it'll come there. It'll backfire you because there are corrupt police and there's corrupt social workers that will work against you. So they I just don't know how much I have to emphasize to people. If you hear the word CPS, your hair on your back should stand straight up and you should get a hold of an attorney right away. Now you may not have money for an attorney, and that's one of the downsides. And I tell people that one thing in life, we get home insurance for fire or theft or whatever happens to your home. We get car insurance because it's required by law to have insurance or a post a bond to a certain amount to protect you from mayhem and so forth. We get medical insurance, but we forget about the most important thing is legal insurance. We should always try to get legal insurance. It is available. You can get legal insurance and it'll cover the cost of hiring an attorney. because attorneys like my attorney, Mr. Davis, his retainer on a typical case in LA County is about $5,000 retainer. He's $500 an hour. He's not the most expensive attorney, but he's not the cheapest attorney. And his retainer, it varies on the type of the case it is, how complex, and how long the case has been going on when you determine the amount of the retainer. Because it can vary, especially when you go out of states. He will come to your state to defend you. And so, he's the right attorney to get there because he's a pit bull of attorney. He's been fighting CPS for 39 years, and he's gotten back thousands of children. But what you have to understand, fighting CPS is like open heart surgery. If you're not a doctor and having a doctor work on your heart, you yourself can't do it, and you certainly can't have a mechanic work on your heart. So I'm trying to tell people, think of fighting CPS as open heart surgery. So you're going to have to find that attorney trained in the areas of juvenile law, family law, and dependency law, not criminal law. Criminal law will not work. So that's what you got to be careful about. And also the public defenders, are a waste of time.
You'll see that's it. They made it a 10. So both of those, actually 3 of those things, are violations, and 2 of them say if it's not done in time, then they're supposed to dismiss it. But my attorney didn't file anything, and so now I've missed the time of the strike. I don't know what to do about that. But the attorney I have now, I had before I fired her, she waived my right for them to dismiss it because they didn't have the hearing within 6 months of filing for the termination. The hearing was in 6 months, and they didn't.
Hold on for a second, Nicole. Hold on. We have a guest in the room called Tyler Bears. We can't hear her. Who is Tyler Byers? Oh, your kid's dad. I thought he's the one you have a restraining order against. Well, let's start at the beginning of your case because it sounds really complex, okay? Yeah, well, let's always start. My way is to start with the birth of your children. Now, was there a man involved with your first child? Okay, so we don't want to use names here, but I can go ahead and just call him first husband number 1. You got married to husband number 1, and with him, how many children did you have? Okay, and then how many other children you have between those 2? And those 3, are those 3 the same father or different father for all 3? Okay, so there's only been 2 men with the 5 children. Now, when you guys got your divorce with your first marriage, how old were the children then? Oh, I thought you said you were married. Okay.
So he still has had a significant amount of time with the kids and raising them. You know what I mean? He just he's been part of their life their whole life. The first one was. Now the second one, he was never violent or anything like that. He never he was the one who always did it first. When the kids wanted something at the store, or he went and took my son out of preschool because there were bullies there. He just marched in the school, picked him up, and took him out. Said, "We're not putting up a bully." It was like he never spanked them or anything like that. So And he watched the kids while I was at work every day. I worked for 6 years. He had a back injury. He stayed home with them.
Before we get to the father number two, can we still talk about the father number one and the first child? So you guys had a relationship. You had a baby. I'm glad you did not use birth control as abortion for birth control. I'm glad you had the baby. Now, the baby's brought into your life. How was he a father then when the baby was together, you and him? Were you guys good together as a group of three? Well, before you left him, what I'm trying to say is that what kind of relationship do you have with husband number one and your first child in the beginning? So you guys had a relationship, but it really wasn't that good. And then out of the relationship, you had a baby. All right. So now you've had a baby. Did he want to support that baby? Wait, I'm confused. You said the first husband and you had a child, but you weren't married. Okay. And then your relationship kind of fell apart and he left the scene and he's giving you no child support. Okay, now you met this next man and you decide to marry him. Number two. Okay. All right. So this husband number two, you marry him, and then you and him started having other children, right? So you had two more children. So your husband number one left and the child's with you and he's okay with that child, right? Okay, so now you are a family of one, two, three, four, five, a family of five. Now, how during that relationship, why do you end up going to prison?
So we were separated for a whole year before.
Oh, okay. So why did you? Okay, you get married to this guy. You had one child on your previous relationship. Now with this married guy, you have two ones. How soon? How old were the children when he went off the deep end? Okay, before he's in prison, I'm trying to understand is that you guys are starting a relationship as a husband wife, married with commitments, and you already had another child by a previous marriage. Then with him, you have two more children. Hold on, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Man number one, you have one child. Man number two, you said you had two, but now you had three. So that's three and one. That makes four children. And then you have one more. So you have five children we're talking about. Okay. Of the five children, let's not talk about the last child or the man that you saw again that once was your relationship in the first part. Um, you've have three children with him and you had one from a previous relation, that's four. Was it any good times in those four with those four children? Right. So then why did he go off to prison if you have a good relationship?
He would just leave and he'd be gone for a couple days at a time because he was too much up on vacation or whatever. And he knew I wouldn't allow him home, so he would just not come back for days at a time. And it started becoming unstable. And that's why I separated from him. And I was hoping that that would cause him to want to, do better. But instead, he found a girlfriend that just matched him where he was at in life, and that's what they did together, and so he ended up in prison.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hi, Christina Reynosa. I want to say hello to Christina Reynoso from Las Vegas, Nevada. And she notices my hands. What had happened, a lot of you didn't know today, was I was supposed to pick up my car that's got its brakes done. And I had worked previous the early part of June, but I had not gotten money. And I was hoping I'd get the money when I showed up at the place to pick up the car, but I didn't. So I had to push the car into a parking spot. And I raced home because I was running late. And I didn't have the money, so I couldn't get the car. Now I got to wait till Tuesday to get the car. Hopefully, I will get the little bit of money left. I had a complete brake job done on my car, and that's pretty expensive. And a couple of days before that, my drive shaft broke and bent. So they had to do a whole brand new bike shop. So $3,000 later, I have a big bill. And it's a hard thing to come up with $3,000, let alone $2,000 or $1,000. So yeah. So anyway, Christina has good eyes. And I did wash my hands as good as I can, but I'm sorry. Christina. So I'm sorry if that offended you. I didn't mean to do that purposely, but I have washed them and good on thing in there. But it is, when you're around cars, it's hard sometimes to be spotless. But anyway, we now have Nicole, who is from Indiana, from Cass County, who is telling us about a relationship involving 5 children and 2 men. Men number 1, she later met again and she married man number 1. She didn't marry him at first. She had 1 child with him, and I guess he went his separate ways. Then she had man number 2, who had 3 children. I guess he got hurt at work, he's caught stealing, whatever, and he went to prison. He got incarcerated, and now he's out of prison, and he thought it'd be good for children to see him. Apparently something in prison messed him up, or one of the children said something that messed him up, and he hit the children. Now, did you ever go ahead?
The drunk is fun. The violence seems fun to leave. But because got on the case, so I said, that's perjury. And so I said, I'm going to tell the judge that's perjury. Well, they called me in the back room and they said, you drop the perjury or we're going to I'll get you for contempt of court. And I was like, well, because basically they wanted me doing things that I wasn't doing, but they never told me to do those things yet. So,
Okay. Yeah. All right. Excuse me. Something went down the bad windpipe of me. So, did CPS get involved with your first relationship and your first child at all?
because I had a dog or whatever, and they needed the full adjustment with me.
Yeah.
And I just did it with 3 months, then everything was fine. So they told me when I did the full adjustment, then every we could test way again without the first week of the full adjustment. So this time when they came and they took my kids away, I was like, wait a minute, why don't I get it? Like, give me the full adjustment just because of the imminent danger? Well, the imminent danger was removed when I put the no contact order on the phone. And that's an IT code, actually. They said.
Well, the sad thing apart, the sad part is, Nicole, is that you already have a background in CPS, so they're going to come after you again when you have more children. That's how they. That's.
That said that there was no other way to get me to use the services without the influence of the court. And I was already doing the services, but she said that I wasn't. That's what we took a maybe intervention of the court. But I was doing what I was supposed to do. And then since then, basically everything she's not like I have paid $286,000 worth of services out of my own insurance. But every time we go to court, she says I'm not compliant. So, and I haven't seen my kids in March last year. Canceled my visit because my son had a meltdown over, he was tired, hungry, and he started crying because he wanted to watch race cars. And the lady who was supervising the visit said, no, he can't watch race cars. Well, you know what? I took my battles, and he's tired, he's hungry, and he has PTSD. You know what I mean? Like, just, it's not a big deal. Just let him watch the race car. You know what I mean? So he's crying. He was going to pull him out of the visit because he was crying, and the kids couldn't take him away because they just couldn't do that. He was separated from his eliminated with him. He was leading from the gate or something. So,
Yeah.
they didn't have this care. You know what I mean? Like, so how are you blaming me for something when they didn't have that when they were with me? Everybody was fine. Everybody was happy. They were good. You know, we had issues, but we worked together as a family to get through those issues. You know? And so, he says, to do what you said. This is what he says, but she says, I'm not doing it. They can't do what they said. The people who look at him.
Right. Okay.
And the judge said that he is not going to give the but then like he is nobody's going to do about it. You know, she said that nothing I would do was satisfy her. She already made up. So they went for nothing because she's not going to change her mind, you know, and she hasn't. She's lied and she just took away my kid's dad, Tyler, his visits because he was talking to me. She found out about it, and so she canceled his visits too. And the courts disagree to it. Like whatever she said, they disagree to it. You know, and there's lies. The lies they could have running water. Like I didn't have a bathroom. I never had food. I didn't need the kitchen cooking for one. I had a 5-acre house on 5 acres. You know, I had 2 full baths when this all first started, and basically they stripped me of everything. And there's nothing I can do about it because the judges disagree to everything she says, and the attorneys don't do anything to fight for me. So I don't know if I can for something in my attorney's working.
Well, here's the problem I'm trying to understand. you are very much involved in CPS early on. Instead of calling 911, you called the police, and they went ahead and alerted CPS because they're required by law to report something. And so they reported it, and it's worked against you because they said you allow your man to beat up her children after he came out of prison. Now, no one would really know that. I don't know if he has an anger problem or what in prison, but I can't believe a man would lose his cool around his children.
Came back. There was calls coming in. They were because the kids, started telling me that they were scared because the one CCS worker took my son upstairs and threatened him and said, "If you don't start helping your mom more, I'm going to take you guys away." He came running down the stairs and he was like, "Excuse me." I said, "You know what? I'm going to you guys need to leave my house. Get out of my house. Just come back. You're scaring my
Well,
kids."
did you ever know that you don't have to have them in your house? Did you know that law? Did they have a warrant? Did they have a warrant to enter your house? Did they have a warrant to have you talk to them? Did they have a warrant to take your children? Well, first of all, CPS cannot serve warrants, only the police can. And if you don't open the door or answer the door, if you don't open the door or answer the door, they can't give you the warrant.
She's like, "We're not going to go to the home, but we just think you need help." Like, there was basically they said because my kids will be at a dentist appointment, uh, and were dirty. So one day we came in dirty. We were all outside filming a park of or recycled tires. Yeah, they were dirty. And I was trying to meet their voice. So, like, I don't know. I just want to know how, especially with their family violence that's involved, the media, the media, their family violence, they're supposed to be feeling together. So, from getting more somewhere. So, lady, he's even starting like the dad. We can see the
Well, here's the other problem. Did you ever find an attorney or were you using court appointed attorneys? Well, why did you use the court appointed attorneys? Because you have no money for a real attorney? Did you ever document anything? Did you ever do any documentation? Okay. All right. Where are the children at the moment? Where are the 5 children at the moment? Still foster care. It's still foster care because if it's kinship, that means it's with a family member. Are they with a family member? No, that's not kinship. That's not a form of kinship. A kinship is your cousins, aunts, and uncles. You can tell them that. It's your cousins, aunts, and uncles. It isn't strangers. That's not kinship care.
Because what they were doing, they were hurting my kids really bad. Like my son, he was separating for them, and he was like quit talking, and like that thing, it was bad, and it was breaking my heart because I couldn't do anything about it. And so she said, "Nicole, you know I'm gonna do that for you." Well, then after the meeting, the DCF worker told me, "You don't contact her again, or you're gonna go to jail." And there was no, she's put no contact order because I don't know what she told the foster mom, what she's said to her, but now foster mom is on board with DCS and they're like they now are lying. Like they're saying that my kids don't want to see me. They're saying that we didn't have running water, we didn't have a restroom that if you go to the restroom outside. Just all these things that I know for a fact, 100% fact, are not true. You know, and that we didn't have power. I have records of all my utilities I've had in the house for 5 years. You know, we never had without anything. You know, we had a very nice home, and uh, but the DCS worker spoke to my landlord. He called her because everything that was going on. He only rents to people who have children in that county school because it's a small school and they were going to close down. Well, he found out my kids weren't home for a year, so he called my worker and wanted to know what's going on. And she told him I'm not getting them back, so he evicted me. And they had me move. I had to move out in this county. They gave me 3 days, and my rent was still paid until March. This is the beginning of February. They gave me 3 days to be out of the office property, and the cops came and removed me. And I don't know how that was legal either because my rent was paid, but they did that. And I was just really, the county does so many things that's wrong. It's kind of unbelievable. But,
Well, yeah, because they are corrupt and they do retaliate
it's very corrupt.
and they do steal.
Yeah.
I mean, I've caught them
Yes.
committing perjury, so I've caught them in their lives.
Well, they said that I asked because when this happened, I spoke to a guy who was a friend of mine, but his son died the day before they took my kids away. Okay, so we ended up like being together or whatever. I just kind of clung to him because it was all I had in the world. I felt like I don't know, but he ended up being real abusive, and I kept asking for help to get away from him because everything I was trying to do, was I would make progress, but then I would go right back because he would break my phone or like something. I couldn't keep in contact with him. And I kept telling him, look, I'm trying to get away from him. Can you guys help me with the deposit to move? Can you help me with anything to be able to, stand on my 2 feet? And they said, no, we don't have to offer you services. We will not help you. There was nothing that they would help me with. So I dealt with that until, basically I ended up moving out of the house. And then I finally found the strength somehow to get out of that relationship and start to rebuild, and it was not very long ago, so that's where I'm at right now.
Why did you have to move out of the house?
They got me evicted. The landlord talked to the DCS worker and found out that my kids weren't home, and he only rents to people who have children. And the
Slow down. This is very confusing. You are paying rent on a place. Why did the landlord evict you? Did you know that you're not supposed to tell the landlord anything? It's none of his business.
And I said, well, if you don't want me here, I'm not going to stay here. I'll find another place, but I'm going to pay so much, you know? So you're going to have to give me a little bit of time to find a place or whatever. So he said, well, if you're going to leave, then don't even worry about coming to the hearing. We'll cancel that hearing. You just go on ahead and move out. So I started packing my stuff and was trying to move out. Well, that hearing came and he went. They went ahead.
Never trust. You know, you're too okay. That's the number one story that's wrong. If someone has set up a hearing, you never know. Oh, good grief. They probably didn't show up at the hearing. You lost your case. Why would you take the advice of your landlord? Oh, jeez. I would sue him in small claims court. You could sue him in small claims court. If he said that, the judge will make a decision and he can't bring an attorney in small claims, either can you. Small claims is fought without attorneys. You can't have attorneys in small claims. But anyway, that's not gonna resolve anything. That's over the problem is that you've you've been taken advantage of. Um,
Not make anything which is against the people. Every hearing you should have a just talk, talk to general witnesses, and present your evidence, right? So I told her at the court, I want you to appeal that, because that's when they went from the 10th and they said, okay, now we're filing for termination. And I wanted to appeal it because they wouldn't have filed for termination if I could present my evidence, right? So she said, no, we can't do that. Well, then she said, I couldn't make an appointment with her. And she said, well, we have plenty of time. So I still have not met with her. I'm in court in 2 weeks for the trial. And I said, well, if you're not going to see me until 4 days before court, how are you going to present all my evidence? How are you going to subpoena all my stuff in that time and all the people that I want here? And she says, all what people? Well, I have about a court, I can fill up the courtyard and the courthouse with people who want to come on my behalf that have seen me with my kids and know I'm a good mom, you know? And she said, no, you can't do that. You can only bring people who have offered you services, who have been your service providers, which is not true. So I told her, you know what? Remove yourself from my case because I have a better chance fighting myself than I have with these public defenders. So now I have court. Well, she waived my right. They have to file. Okay, well, at the time when they file for termination, they have 6 months that they have to have that fact-finding hearing for the termination. And if they don't have the hearing within 6 months, then they have to dismiss the termination. And she waived that right. And she didn't even ask me. And we came up to the 6 month mark. I'm like, hey, we need to have this dismissed now. You can file this. And she said, no, I waived that. Well, nobody gave her permission to do that, and that's my right. So I don't know how to go about that, but there's so many things that throughout this whole thing where it says if it's not done, dismiss it. If it's not done at this time, dismiss it. And nobody's attorneys have filed it. So how do I get that to be filed? Or is it too late, you know?
Well, what is the document you're trying to file?
Okay, so you know, they're competent, then I mean they basically like you know, not done their job intentionally or because they know that they have so much time to do something or else you know, they missed their time to strike on it. So when I went to my attorney's office and I had my 48-hour hearing, because you're allowed to hear within 48 hours after the removal of your child, and if they don't if they don't do that hearing, then they have to return the child. That's what the IC code says. So I went to the office, I went to the courthouse. They all told me no. The courthouse said you need to ask your attorney. My attorney said if you want that hearing, go hire an attorney. And I'm like, wait, what? So that's not legal. Well, then I was looking at the laws and it said they have to have this hearing within 60 days for pet fighting. Well, it's 4 months later. So I told my attorney, you need to follow this. It says to dismiss it if we don't have this 60-day hearing. Within 60 days, that it's supposed to be dismissed without prejudice. And he said, and the children are to be returned home. And he wouldn't file it. He didn't file anything. So basically, if I file something on them for being incompetent, can I still file what they didn't file? And be honored.
Well, you can do that, but again, you don't know that's what the advantage of having an attorney on your behalf. If you don't have an attorney, you're at their
I
mercy.
need one.
You're at their mercy.
They don't do the DCS cases. I mean, I'm going to do my research. I spend my time in law library and researching, and I can't find anybody here that will help without thousands of dollars. And I, you know, coming out of this major depression because my kids are gone and like trying to find somewhere to live, dealing with domestic violence, thing that I had barely escaped with my life with, you know, from like basically I'm fighting for my life back because I want my life back because we were happy, we were good, you know, and I have a job now and I make, you know, pretty decent money, but I have 2 weeks until court. So I'm trying to find somehow, some way, which I don't think they can have that hearing if I don't have an attorney.
Yeah, they'll have the hearing without the attorney. You can ask for a continuance if you want to hire an attorney, but they may not give it to you.
We have to proceed with the hearing. So, yeah.
Well, they can give you as much as 1 day. I got a family to do that with a judge.
Yeah. I know that my kids was Marshall last year. They canceled my visits. And I said, why? Because the children are not in therapy yet. When you start your therapy sessions and the children start theirs, then I'll start your visits back on. Well, I've been doing therapy. I have done every appointment since this whole thing started before they took the kids. I don't miss appointments. You know, there was a short time when I basically gave up hope. You know what I mean? Because everything I'm doing keeps saying non-compliant. And I got so depressed. Like, I really became very majorly depressed. And
now, when you talk to Vincent Davis, you're going to have to go about 4 speed there because you're so fast. No one's going to be able to understand your questions. So you really got to slow it down. I know that time is important. You're worried about not getting everything done, but when you do talk to Mr. Davis now, I'm going to tell you how you can talk to him for 15 minutes for free. It's a very simple process. All you do is you text me on your phone to the number that you called in. The number is up there on the screen, 626-698-0990. And you put your full name, your email, and your phone number, those 3 things, and text it to me. And then within a week, you should be hearing from Grace about what day your consultation is.
Okay.
And these things, she will, yeah, your full name, your email, and your phone number. And um, it takes about a week for it to be scheduled. Christina is asking a question. She's in Cass County, Indiana. She's in Cass County, Indiana. Christina Reynoso is somebody who's helped out a lot of people in this room. She will help you do a lot of the legwork. She really cares about people. Yeah, she's from Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, I want to say hello to Corella. Corella is from Oxnard, California. She's been on my show for a long time. She sees me at least twice a day. And it's good to see you, Corella. Anything new with your case? She's a mother of two children that her father won't give back to her. Her brother's trying to have her evicted from the home that she takes care of her mother in. She's a caregiver for her mother, but her father's remarried and has a new wife, and it's really a bad situation for her. So anyway, um, she's in the room right now, and she's trying to always help other people and get help herself. So I have right now a Tyler Byers, a Christina Reynoso, a Corella, and then I have Nicole. Now Nicole is related to Tyler. Tyler is her first husband that she's now has a relationship with him now. And is he willing to help out at all, or is it just all your show? No, no, no. Don't have him sign off. Do not sign off any rights. You guys got to do that. You'll never.
Finally, he said, well, not like it. He knows I'm a good mom. He's seen it with my kids. So he started to, go against no, he didn't want to sign on program. So now they've canceled his visits on him. He never did so because he wasn't a parent that the services weren't required because he was going to sign off his rights. So now at the end, and they said, well, he didn't do services. Well, he didn't tell me I had to do services, which he was doing his drug screens and doing all kinds of stuff like that, doing the visitation this whole time. He's done his visitation and passed the drug screens, but now they've taken the visits away because they're taking pictures of the kids. So, but that's not what they said they did it.
No, I'm going to have to end. I don't want to end our conversation, but I got to sign off because I have two clocks I go by. One is the 8 o'clock, which is when my show ends, and one's my running time.
Okay.
And I've run over 3 minutes. I've been on for 1 hour and 3 minutes. That doesn't mean you and I can stop talking. We can talk again tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock my time on the west coast of California.
Okay.
And so, yeah. So at 8 o'clock, I'll be on again if you want to continue your story. What I do need to try to understand is the relationship that these two men are in your life and your children. And your children, how old are they now? How old are they now? Okay, 4 to 12. Wow. They're making about $20,000 per child. That's a pretty good chunk of change. That's how much.
Your phone number and a link or something, or information how to contact you, that'd be great. I really appreciate somebody's advice here or legal help.
Yeah, well, that might be a possibility.
Are we still on?
Yeah, we're still on. I was just texting. Someone was asking me a question. It's really hard to talk to people, text people, see their comments up, and so forth. So Christina Renoza, she wants you the caller, so I'll text her phone number to you.
Okay.
Her name is Christina Renozo. She's from Las Vegas, Nevada. Christina, I'm telling Nicole, who's from Indiana, who has 5 children. She had 2 men in her life. Her first man with her first child and her last child and the man that they still have a relationship. Her second man became really bad and he got out of prison. He started beating up the children. So anyway, she's been accused of not protecting the children and allowing her second man in her second relationship to beat up the children. So anyway, Christina, that's really a nice gesture on your part. And I will give you the number and you can call her, okay? So anyway, you got my number to text me, right? Okay, great. So I'll go ahead and do that. Meanwhile, I have to close. I want to thank Nicole from Indiana for talking on the phone about her case. I'm so glad to see Christina Renozo from Las Vegas, Nevada, who wants to help out people. She's always trying to help. Corella is in here, and it's okay you're late, Corella. Don't worry about that. And I'm glad you're here, Corella. And she's from Oxford, California. And then we have Tyler Beyer, who is a friend of Nicole. That's her second relationship, her second guy there. And I want to thank all of you. But here's the thing I want you to remember. Always keep fighting for your children and your family. Do not give up. If you see me twice a day, I'll keep you motivated. I will help your case. I will walk through it. I will help you look up what you need to do. But whatever you do, try to follow my 5 rules. That means you have to hire an attorney, good documentation, no to CPS and police. Do not let them have your children. 4, do search right. Do this. Spend a lot of time researching on the internet. And 5, make copies of all your documents and have them ready, because you'll need things like marriage licenses and all kinds of stuff. So those are my 5 rules in a nutshell. But in a lot of my shows, I elaborate on them. But anyway, I want to thank you all for calling in. And again, thank you to Nicole. There's a brief message from my attorney, Vincent Davis, right after I leave the studio. God bless you, and I'll see you all tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against it, it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last